Okay, so just going to show you a basic tripod and camera and sound setup. So this is your tripod. Just double check that it has a base plate on it before you take a tripod out, because otherwise it's pointless. So you're just going to spread the legs like so, and if you want to bring it up, start with the clips at the bottom, unclip all three, then lift up. Make sure all the legs are extended fully before you close them. If you want it to be higher, then you can undo one of these three and do the same. So, to put a camera onto the base plate, you need to undo the base plate. Take your camera, and what's crucial is you'll see that there is an arrow on the bottom of the base plate that says lens. Face that towards the lens of the camera and begin to screw that in until it's relatively tight. You don't want to push that too tightly, and then that goes down like that. Now, before we put the camera on top of the tripod, we just need to make sure that it has a battery, an SD card, and of course a lens. So, at the bottom of the camera, you will open that up and grab your battery. Now, you'll see that these four gold sort of things here need to line up with the corresponding gold at the bottom. So, I'm going to push that in till you hear a little click and the grey thing goes over the battery, and then you're good to close that up. Just next to that, on the side of the camera, you've got the SD card slot. On the SD card slot, you can clearly see it has a visual of an SD card. It's crucial that you put this in the right way around. So, like so, with the little edge off the corner facing towards yourself, you push that down until you hear a little click, and you're all good. So now we've got a battery and an SD card. Now onto the lens. Usually you want to do a lens change with more than one person so that somebody can hand you the crucial stuff. First things first, I'm going to take off the back lens cap. Then I'm going to take this off. Place that there. It's crucial that you do this with speed, as you don't want to damage the sensor or let too much dust go in. Red goes on red, match those up, to the right, righty tighty, until you hear a satisfying click, and you should be confident that that's on properly. Try to do that efficiently with speed, because you don't want to damage the sensor on either the lens or the camera. We can keep the lens cap on for now. I've got my base plate on, I've got my battery, my SD card, and my lens. I'm ready to put it on top of my tripod. This can be a little bit fiddly sometimes. Okay, so when I am putting my camera onto the tripod, you'll see that here the flat side is to the box. This means there is a full, complete box that the base plate can fit into. You will know that the base plate is in the tripod when you hear a satisfying click. Okay, we didn't hear a click, but it is on for sure, because we can see that the flat side is no longer there. Something is holding that camera in place. You should be fairly confident that that camera is on top of the tripod and everything is steady. So, now that we've got our camera and tripod set up, we can have a look at setting up the sound. So, most of the time when you're on shoot, it'll be essential to use a external microphone to record sound. These take normal AA batteries, so be sure when you take kit out that you check that it has batteries and that they are full, so you don't get caught out on a shoot. Again, like the camera, it's going to need an SD card which goes in here. Open that up, and similarly you should have the side with the words and letters and symbols on it facing towards you as you put that in. So click that in and close that there. Now we can turn it on. You will see that there's a sort of on power symbol right there. You hold down to turn on. You should see this Zune symbol beginning to load. That might take a little moment. Now we've got to plug in the wires into the camera. When plugging in these wires, it's slightly inappropriately called his and hers. And he, which has 3 protruding elements, goes into her, which has 3 corresponding holes. Now you line those up, putting it into one, pushing in until you hear a satisfying click. The same goes when plugging the other end into the microphone. So, like so, like so, and again we hear a satisfying click, so we know that that's all mic'd up. Okay, so once you've put your SD card inside the Zoom recorder and plugged in the microphone and you know that you've got plenty battery, you're ready to start recording sound. So initially you'll notice that you've got an L and an R symbol. That stands for left and right recording. So you'll notice that there's no movement on that screen. If you press the red button, you'll see that those bars start moving as I talk. Now I've got the microphone relatively close to my mouth, but it is quite nearly reaching right to the end of the sound recorder. If that got any louder, it wouldn't create nice sound, it would be crackled and it would be too loud. So there are a couple of options. I can either move the microphone further away from my mouth and we got some more sort of sound that falls in that mid-range, or I can turn down the levels here, which will mean that I'm hitting those mid-ranges again. Try a little bit of both, it's worth trialing. So, you'll see though that even though I pressed the record symbol, the time code at the top is not recording. That's because I have to press the record button twice. Once to get my levels and a second time to begin recording. So now I'll start recording time and you'll see that I've got 2, 3, 4 seconds there and my levels are falling in quite a nice mid-range there. Now to stop, you press the square stop button like on your DVD remote, not the record button. It's crucial you press the stop button here like I'm going to do now, and that's saved as a single audio file. So to go over again, it's once to get the sound bars, twice to record, stop to cut. Okay, so it's important that if you've taken kit out, that you return it in a neat and orderly and respectful manner. There's a clear diagram that lays out where all the equipment should go inside the box. I'm going to talk you through that now. So I've got my kit lens here. It's important that any lens you put back has its back lens cap on and its front lens cap on. And that goes in the top left-hand corner like so. Now, I've still got my 50mm lens onto the camera here. So, to take that off, there's this button here. Now, earlier, we went righty-tighty to put the lens on, but this time we want to take it off and we remember that it's lefty-loosey. However, I must press down here before I twist to the left, like so, all the way red to red in the middle, and the lens comes away. Obviously, I need to put my lens caps on as soon as I can, so we'll do the one for the camera, like so, which is going to be put in the bottom left hand corner there, and then I'm going to put the back lens cap onto the 50mm and place that next to the kit lens. I'm now, once I've put my zoom recorder inside its plastic casing, I'm going to place that next to the camera in the top right hand corner. Just going to put that there. Now I'm going to take my cables, which I've neatly rolled up into neat circles, and I'm going to place that in the bottom of this big section here, followed by the Rode microphone that's been put in its leather case. That goes into the middle, not forgetting my battery, which goes in the bottom left hand corner like so. And there we are, a complete box in the same state that I took it out to give back to the camera department.